From whale-sized turtles to enormous aquatic centipedes, here are 11 of the creepiest ocean cryptids. Number 11. The Beast of Cojimar. The village of Cojimar in Cuba might be best known as the place that Ernest Hemingway once called home, but it's also known for having some huge sharks in the waters. In 1945, a group of fishermen there encountered an enormous great white shark that could have measured about 24 feet long, 7 meters, and weighed more than 7,000 pounds, that's over 3,000 kilograms. When the shark took the bait, the fishermen attempted to capture it, but the big beast went on the offensive and attacked the boat, destroying the keel. It circled the vessel and made another rush toward it, but this time the fishermen were able to harpoon it. After a lengthy struggle, they brought it to shore. The animal might have been the largest great white shark ever captured, but its size was never officially verified. Number 10. Kraken. This is probably the best known creature on our list. While it's usually described as a gigantic squid, there are other accounts that claim they have no tentacles. Those sources and others even allege that the creatures have a much greater resemblance to monstrous crabs or whales. Those cryptids are linked to the coasts of Norway and Greenland, where they are thought to dwell. The earliest mention of these beasts dates to old Icelandic sagas of the 13th century, but they were identified as kraken. The sagas mentioned a creature called the sea mist, which was the terror of the seas, and no wonder, since it was huge enough to swallow down whales and ships alike. If you're looking for a real-life inspiration for the kraken, most experts say it's probably the squid. Those cephalopods are capable of reaching lengths that exceed 60 feet or 18 meters. Number 9. Luska. This one is said to be a man-eating aquatic monster that is found in the region of Andros, an island in the Bahamas. Andros is known for its vertical underwater sinkholes, or blue holes, and for a meandering system of caves in the region. The Luska is said to lurk within those networks of caves. It's described as a bizarre hybrid of octopus and shark, although other accounts describe it as kind of an eel-squid hybrid. Before it attacks, the water will start to furiously bubble and roil. Then the monster will suck their victims into the water and feed upon them in the deep caves. Disappearances of swimmers and underwater cave divers have been blamed upon the creature. Survivors of purported attacks say they were grabbed by huge tentacles that left welts on their bodies that are similar to those left by suckers. Reports have indicated the creatures can grow up to 200 feet long, or 61 meters. Number 8. USS Stein Munster. This cryptid was named for the destroyer escort USS Stein, which it is claimed to have attacked in 1978. An unknown species of giant squid was thought to have destroyed the surface of the ship's sonar drone, with nearly 10% of the surface wrecked. The idea that the creature could have been a squid is due to remnants of curved claws, similar to those that are found on certain squids' tentacles, being discovered in cuts left at the scene. Those claws were much larger than any reported at the time. We found unsubstantiated claims that the critter could have measured around 150 feet, 46 meters or longer. Number 7. Christopher Columbus cryptids. During his voyages, Christopher Columbus is documented to have encountered several mysterious sea beasts. One of the better-known occurrences involved Columbus supposedly sighting mermaids while sailing near the Dominican Republic. Most modern-day theories suggest that those creatures were misidentified manatees. But here's a lesser-known occurrence. While he was sailing the coast of Hispaniola in 1494, Columbus reportedly observed what appeared like a giant turtle that was about the size of a whale. The creature had a long tail and fins, and kept its huge head out of the water as it swam. It's possible that this was a misidentified sea turtle like a loggerhead, which is so named for their large noggins. Some of them have reportedly measured more than 9 feet long, 2.7 meters, and weighed more than 1,000 pounds, 454 kilograms. That makes for a humongous turtle, but it's obviously not the size of a whale. But we did find a cryptid that's a good match for the description of what Columbus allegedly saw. That one is coming up next. Number 6. The ZAIR-uh-ton. We mentioned how Christopher Columbus is said to have observed a turtle as huge as a whale. But the Zaratan is a tortoise so huge that its shell can be mistaken for a small island. With a diameter measuring hundreds of feet, the carapace looks like a rocky, sloped terrain. Sailors have even dropped anchor on the supposed landmass, only to meet a grim fate. Their ships were dragged underwater at night, when the beast sinks below the surface. It's said that the Zaratan can emit a sweet aroma from its mouth that serves as a lure to attract prey. When sufficient prey have been drawn inside, the animal snaps its jaws shut like an alligator. Some cryptozoologists have speculated that this cryptid could be related to Archelon, the largest sea turtle that ever existed. Could Archelon, the Zaratan, and the giant turtle spotted by Christopher Columbus all somehow be related? Tell us what you think in the comments. Number 5. Leviathan. The name Leviathan has become synonymous with gargantuan sea creatures or monsters, although in modern Hebrew it means whale. It was first referenced in the Old Testament, where it's often described as a type of sea serpent. Other sources describe the cryptid as a dragon that lives above the sources of deep. Some of the characteristics attributed to this monstrosity include its length, claimed to be some 300 miles or 483 kilometers. When it's hungry, Leviathan can generate heat from its mouth so intense it makes the oceans boil. The huge creature also had eyes that could cast forth a blinding light, and was said to possess powerful fins. Bear in mind, these characteristics are gathered from various sources, so not all of them coincide with one another. Number 4. Shore Laddie. Also known as the beach walker, this creature has been reported since the 1700s. It is said to be the most commonly sighted sea monster in Iceland, even though it typically dwells on the shore. It's about the size of a ram, and it makes a distinct clicking sound as it walks. That's due to the barnacles and muscles attached to its dark fur. Depending on the source, they can have feet that are either hooved or webbed, and have fangs that give them a facial resemblance to seals. The good news for humans is that shore laddies are vegetarians, but they do exhibit some oddball behaviour. They have a tendency to breed with sheep, which produces deformed lambs. Eyewitness accounts of shore dwellers continue to this day along the western fjords of Iceland. Number 3. Ningen. Ningen means human in Japanese, and crew members aboard Japanese whale research vessels have reported seeing humanoid life forms in the waters of the Antarctic. These creatures are huge, with estimated lengths of 30 meters, 98 feet or more. They're usually described as being stark white with 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 hands with 5 fingers each. Other sources say the creatures have fins instead of legs, or even tentacles. An exact explanation for the Ningen still hasn't been provided, but there's a wide range of speculation. That includes the creatures being albino whales or some sort of alien life form. If you have a theory, tell us in the comments below. Number 2. Conrad. The term Conrad has been linked to sea serpents, but this critter from Vietnam is unique in that it is usually described as a huge aquatic centipede that inhabits the South China Sea. Its body is composed of a series of bony plates, along with fish-like fins it uses to swim. A beached carcass found in 1833 was said to measure more than 60 feet long, 18 meters, and around 3 feet wide, that's 1 meter. 50 years later, a creature with a similar description washed ashore in Vietnam. This specimen was decapitated, but had segmented joints that were tough and durable, like sheet metal. In the late 19th century, a ship sailing near Cape Falcon, Algeria encountered a creature that matched the Conrad's description. This creature had countless fins it used to propel itself through the water, and was fast enough to keep pace with the vessel. Most accounted estimated this beast to measure more than 130 feet long, 40 meters. Its last documented appearance occurred in the 1960s in Hong Kong. Number 1. Sea Yakoi. They might be best described as mermen by the way of a horror movie. These creatures appear in the mythologies of the Philippines and are described as humanoid with green skin covered in patchy scales. They also have webbed hands and feet and fins located on various parts of their body. By some accounts they have tentacles, but almost all descriptions agree that these creatures are male and the most animalistic of all the merfolk. They're said to drown humans unlucky enough to encounter them, and it's said that intimidating marine life such as eels, rays, and squids will often swim alongside them. If you'd like to swim alongside epic wildlife, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for our next exciting episode right here on Epic Wildlife.